Welcome to Legion Builds, where I guide you on how to bring your favorite fictional characters into Dungeons & Dragons. This video and all my content is made possible by my Patreon supporters, and it's dedicated to everyone who subscribes to my channel. You're all the reasons why this keeps going. Thank you. Join the Legion today at patreon.com/63rdlegion for free and help decide next week's new character. Joining my paid tiers allows you early access to my content, a shout out in my videos, and home-brewed 5e items for your games. Today we're bringing to life Dollar Store Batman and Pretend Angel of Death, Azrael. By the way, yes, Azrael is the name of the Angel of Death, and this brings a whole new level to the show Smurfs now that you know that's where the cat's name comes from. The title of Azrael is passed down through the ages to a member of the Order of Saint Dumas who serves as the extreme religious order's agent and assassin. Those who take on the title of the assassin are forged through extreme training and manipulation to become a killer of evil. In the comic books, two men have borne the title of Azrael, Jean-Paul Vallée and Michael Lane, but for this we'll be focusing on the title, not a single character, as the only real difference is weapon loadout. Those that bear the title Azrael wield a variety of weapons, most notably fire swords. Let's face it, this is why you guys wanted him. He's a Templar that wields a flaming sword. Kinda cool. These swords can include the Sword of Sin, which is basically the Ghost Rider's penance stare in the form of forged metal. Regardless of the weapon, Azrael has gone through training similar to Batman. This includes training in weapons, martial arts, stealth, infiltration, and understanding of technology. You're just not as good as him in, well, every regard. For today's build, we'll be using the Player's Handbook. We're using standard point array to keep things simple, and we are multi-classing, so keep an eye on those stat minimums if you use another system. Make Charisma 15, Strength 14, Dex 13, Con 12, Intelligence 10, and we're going to be dumping Wisdom with an 8. We'll fix this, but every single person who has borne the title Azrael has severe mental disabilities due to their extreme mental conditioning, aka torture, so they tend to make bad decisions. Azrael's a human. Resourceful grants you a free inspiration dice at the end of a long rest. Skilled gives you a free skill. Take Athletics. Versatile gives you a free origin feat. For this feat, Tough gives you double your current character level in HP and then gives you +2 HP to every level after. We really need this because you will not be bringing in much health for this build. To finish out your lineage, you know the language Common and 2 more of your choice. For background, place +2 into Strength and +1 into Con. For your skills, take Religion and Stealth. For your origin feat, Savage Attacker makes your attack so much harder when you hit. Now, once per turn, when you hit with a weapon, you can roll the damage dice twice and choose which rolls to use against the creature you hit. To finish out your background, take Proficiency in Thieves' Tools. Level 1 fighters begin with 2 skills. Take Athletics and Acrobatics. You're proficient in all weapons, armor, shields, and the saving throws Strength and Con. Fighting Style grants you a Fighting Style feat. For this feat, I'm kinda torn. Just about every single fighting style works for you, but there's 2 I feel you really need, so we'll grab both. Unarmed Fighting, upgrade your unarmed strikes to a D6 when holding something in your hands, and a D8 when holding nothing, and you can automatically deal 1d4 bludgeoning damage to a creature you are grappling at the start of your turn. Second Wind lets you heal yourself 1d10 plus your fighter level with a bonus action. You can do this twice per long rest, but you regain 1 use after a short rest. Weapon Mastery allows you to unlock weapon mastery properties after a long rest. You choose 3 weapon masteries from the weapons you are proficient with. For your weapon mastery, Longsword gives you Sap. This lets you give disadvantage to a creature you hit with this weapon on their next attack before the start of your next turn. Short Swords give you Vex. This gives you advantage on your next attack against a creature you hit with this weapon before the end of your next turn. And that's basically it. You only ever use wrist-mounted short swords or a long sword in the comic books, so you can actually customize this further because of all the options you have. Level 1 Paladins start things off with Lay on Hands. This gives you a pool of healing that equals your Paladin level times 5 between long rests. As a bonus action, you can heal someone you touch, including yourself, and restore HP equal to points you spend from the pool. You can also expand 5 from the pool to end the poison condition on someone, including yourself. Spellcasting makes you a half-caster and gives you 2 first level spells, and you can get used spell slots back at the end of a long rest. Before we get to those spells, you also get weapon mastery here as well. I'm not sure if this stacks, as paladins and fighters have different rules for weapon mastery. So until we get an FAQ about this, talk to your DM on how they feel it should work. For your spells, Wrathful Smite is a bonus action you make when you hit a creature with an attack. You deal 1d6 necrotic damage and force a wisdom save. If they fail, for the next 1 minute they are frightened. A frightened creature can't willingly move closer to the source of its condition and has disadvantage on all attacks and skill checks when in line of sight to what is causing the condition. Searing Smite is a bonus action you make when you hit a creature with an attack. When you hit, you will deal 1d6 fire damage. For the next minute, they will take 1d6 fire damage at the start of each of their turns and then must make a con save, ending the spell if they pass the save. Level 2 Paladins get another fighting style feat. For this fighting style, Great Weapon Fighting lets you reroll damage dice of 1 or 2 damage when you wield a weapon with 2 hands if the weapon has the two-handed or versatile properties. Remember, all fighting styles work for you, so change this up if you want to customize this build. Paladin Smite gives you a free spell called Divine Smite. This is a spell that you cast with a bonus action when you hit a creature with an attack. This spell deals 2d8 radiant damage, and you can add an extra 1d8 radiant damage when you hit a creature that is undead or a fiend. Because you get this spell for free, you can cast it without a spell slot once per long rest. For your new spell, Cure Wounds heals you 2d8 plus your charisma modifier. Level 3 Paladins now have access to their subclass. Vengeance from the player's handbook will basically make you Holy Batman. Channel Divinity allows you to channel divine power twice per long rest, but you do regain 1 use at the end of a short rest. You'll gain several features you can use with this, but right now you get Divine Sense and Vow of Anemone. Divine Sense is a bonus action that allows you to detect certain creatures within 60 feet for 10 minutes. These creatures are celestials, fiends, and undead. You can also detect sacred or unholy items or places. Vow of Enmity lets you choose a creature within 30 feet of you. For the next minute, you have advantage on all attacks against the creature. If they die before the minute is up, you can transfer the vow to another creature within 30 feet for free. Oath of Vengeance spells gives you free spells as you level up in Paladin. For these spells, Hunter's Mark lets you mark a creature within 90 feet with a bonus action. For the next hour, while you maintain this spell, when you deal damage to the creature, you will deal an extra 1d6 force damage. You will also have advantage on perception and survival checks made to find the marked creature. If the creature dies before the spell ends, you can use your bonus action to transfer the mark to a new creature within 90 feet. Bane lets you curse 3 creatures for 1 minute while you maintain this spell. Choosing 3 creatures within 30 feet, you force a charisma save, and if they fail, they must subtract 1d4 from all attack rolls and saving throws while the spell is active. For your new spell, take what you want. Level 4 Paladins earn our first ability score improvement. Place this into strength for better attack and damage. For your new spell, once more, take what you want. We're actually pretty good on first level spells, and there's a couple in there you might want to take. You've hit character level 5. Raise your proficiency bonus to +3. Level 5 Paladins gain extra attack. You can now attack twice with a single attack action. Faithful Steed gives you another free spell with Fine Steed. This spell lets you summon an otherworldly steed for you to ride into battle. When you summon it, you choose if it is a celestial, fiend, or fae, which alters its abilities. You can cast this spell without a spell slot once per long rest. You also gain second level spells. For your Oath spells, Hold Person forces a wisdom save against a humanoid within 60 feet. If they fail, they are now paralyzed for 1 minute while you maintain this spell. At the end of each of their turns, they can retake the save to end the spell. Misty Step is a 30-foot teleportation that you make with a bonus action that allows you to vanish into a puff of smoke and reappear somewhere else. For your new spell, Magic Weapon turns one non-magical weapon into a magical one for 1 hour. While the spell is active, the weapon now adds +1 to attack and damage. You can only cast this on a single weapon at a time. Level 2 fighters receive Action Surge. You can give yourself a free action once per short or long rest, but you can't use it to cast a spell or use magic of any kind. Tactical Mind lets you use Second Wind when you fail a skill check. Instead of regaining HP, you add 1d10 to the skill check, but if this doesn't make the skill check pass, you don't waste the use of Second Wind. Level 3 fighters now get their subclass. Champion from the player's handbook is going to improve your combat even more. Improve critical lets you crit on 19 or 20 when you attack. Remarkable athlete gives you advantage on athletics checks and initiative rolls. Also, when you score a critical hit, you can move up to half your speed without provoking an attack of opportunity. Level 4 fighters earn another ability score improvement, Cap Off Strength. You also now have 3 uses of Second Wind and can now have 4 weapon mastery properties through Fighter. You've reached character level 9, bring your proficiency bonus to +4. Level 6 paladins gain Aurora of Protection. Now when you're not incapacitated, you radiate an aura of out to 10 feet around you. While within your aura, you and your allies receive a bonus to saving throws that equal your charisma modifier. Level 7 Vengeance Paladins receive Relentless Avenger. When you hit a creature with an attack of opportunity, you reduce the speed to 0 until the end of your current turn. Then you move up to half your speed with the same reaction, and it doesn't provoke an attack of opportunity. For your new spell, Zone of Truth can force people to confess their sins. You create a 15-foot radius sphere somewhere within 60 feet. For 10 minutes, anyone who enters the sphere or starts within must make a charisma save. If they fail, they cannot tell a lie within the sphere. You will know if they are affected or not, and they can avoid telling you the truth, but anything they say must be the truth. Level 8 Paladins earn another ability score improvement, Bump Up Charisma. Level 9 Paladins earn Abjure Foes. Using a use of Channel Divinity, you can target a number of creatures equal to your Charisma modifier within 60 feet. Each must make a Wisdom save or become frightened for 1 minute or until they take damage. While frightened in this way, they can only do one of the following things on their turn. They can move, take an action, or a bonus action. You also get 3rd level spells. For your Oath spells, Haste pushes your body to new levels. For 1 minute while you maintain this spell, your speed is doubled, you gain +2 to your AC, you have advantage on dex saves, and you can take an extra action. This action can only be one weapon attack, dash, disengage, hide, or the utilize action. When the spell ends, your speed becomes 0 and you are incapacitated until the end of your next turn. Remember, if you're incapacitated, your Aurora of Protection shuts down. Protection from energy gives you resistance to 1 damage type of your choice from Acid, Thunder, Cold, Fire, Lightning, or Thunder. This lasts for 1 hour and you must maintain it. For your new spells, Elemental Weapon ignites one non-magical weapon for 1 hour while you maintain this spell. While active, this weapon gains +1 to attack and damage and then adds 1d4 fire damage to the attack. It can actually add one of several different damage types, but you have a theme. Blinding Smite is a bonus action you take when you hit a creature. You deal an extra 3d8 radiant damage, and for 1 minute the creature has the blinded condition. At the end of each of its turns, it must make a con save to end the condition. You've reached character level 13, bump up your proficiency bonus to +5. Level 10 Paladins earn Aurora of Courage. Now any creature, including yourself, inside your Aura of Protection is immune to the Frightened condition, and if they already have the condition, it is suppressed while they are within the Aurora. Level 11 Paladins receive Radiant Strikes. Your melee attacks now deal an extra 1d8 radiant damage. You now have 3 uses of Channel Divinity. For your new spell, take what you want. Level 12 Paladins earn another ability score improvement, Cap Off Charisma. Level 13 Paladins now have 4th level spells. For your Oath spells, Banishment targets one creature within 30 feet, forcing a Wisdom save. If they fail, they are removed to a pocket dimension where they are incapacitated. For 1 minute while you maintain the spell, they remain there. At the end of the spell, one of 2 things will happen. They will return to where they were before, or they will be sent to another plane of existence if they are one of the following creature types: Aberrations, Fiend, Fae, Celestial, or Elementals. Dimension Dimension Door is a 500-foot teleportation to a location that you can see, describe, or visualize. If you teleport into something, the spell fails and you take 4d6 force damage. For your new spell, Staggering Smite is a bonus action you take when you hit a creature. You deal 4d6 psychic damage, and then they must make a wisdom save, or be stunned until the end of your next turn. That's giving me big Sword of Sin vibes. You've hit the final milestone, character level 17. Max out your proficiency bonus at +6. Level 14 paladins gain Restoring Touch. When you use your Lay on Hands, you can now spend 5 from the pool to remove the following effects: Blinded, Charmed, Deafened, Frightened, Paralyzed, or Stunned. For the effect you remove, you must pay 5, and you can just keep doing this until you run out of pool. Level 15 Vengeance Paladins now have Soul of Vengeance. Now when the target of your Vow of Enmity attacks you, regardless of if they hit or miss, you can use your reaction to make one melee attack against them. For your final spell, take what you want. There's a lot of really interesting spells you can use to customize this build, so have fun. Our final level is level 16 Paladin, and you earn our final ability score improvement. But I should point out that we are now over character level 19, which means you have access to epic boons. I would rather end this build without a negative modifier, so I'm going to put it into wisdom. But if you don't need to do that, or just frankly don't want to do that, go for an epic boon. They're really good. Now that we've hit level 20, let's recap. Your stats are Strength 20, Dex 13, Con 12, Intelligence 10, Wisdom 10, Charisma 20. Your total levels are Fighter 4, Paladin 16. Let's dive in. You are very dangerous. Your attacks with a longsword are dealing 1d10 plus 5 plus 1d8 radiant damage. Then you can add various types of damage on top of that, and you can attack up to 4 times. You can also roll damage dice multiple times and choose which ones you use. Attack if someone misses you, mark your enemies to deal an extra 1d6 force damage, give yourself advantage on attacks, drop enemy speed to 0, and just scare the hell out of them so they can't do anything else. You can also disappear into a puff of smoke and reappear ready to attack. Hell, you can summon a mount, which isn't in character, but who cares, it's cool. In terms of your team, when you actually feel like working with people, you're worse than Batman in that regard, you provide a lot of benefits. You allow everyone, including yourself, to add +5 to all their saves, make them immune to being frightened, can heal them, and remove conditions affecting them. Downside. Firstly, your wisdom is terrible till the end of the build, but at least you add +5 to the save so it's not a -1. You also have no ranged options, but at least you can grab a ranged weapon and go from there. It's just not in lore. You also have several spells that must be maintained, but frankly, I don't really see this as much of a problem, as you shouldn't really be confused on which one you should use at which point. All in all, there really isn't much here not to like, as your lowest save still gets a boost, you can grab any weapon you find, and you have more than enough spells that don't require to be maintained. Time to prove who should bear the mantle of Batman once and for all, though if you want to replace him, you're gonna need to bring your A game. I'd like to give a special shout out to my Artificer tier. Thank you John Martin, Christopher R. Hunter, Java Squirrel, Matthew Dens, Burton, and Jonathan Haynes. You guys rock. Make sure to like and subscribe to not miss a single new build each week on YouTube and Spotify. And make sure to check out my Patreon where you can help decide next week's new character.